Hi, boys and girls. We're reading Ralph Goes to Camp, and it's on page 63 in our Journeys, Unit 3, Decodable Reader. This is grade 1, and this is our third story. We're in lesson 13 now. This is our third story in our Decodable Reader. So before we read it, I want you to tell me the sounds of our three digraphs that we're practicing this week. W. And sometimes it says like in who and whose, but mainly it says w. Shh, shh, w, or okay, see, next one. Do you remember that one? Yeah, it says the same sound as F spells. It says f. Oh, f, w, or all right, boys and girls. Another thing in the story is a reminder that the inflection ed at the end of a word, sometimes it says ed, sometimes it says d, and sometimes it says t. So in these two words, let's see what sound it makes at the end of these two words. This base word says color. This one says rain. So this says, oh, I think I just put the book somewhere else. Okay, so this says colored. Yeah, that time the ed said duh. Like he colored in his coloring book. And this says rained. Yesterday it rained hard. So the ed says duh. But look at these words right here. This time, instead of saying duh, it's going to say something different. Okay? And ed makes the words mean that whatever the verb is, it makes it mean that it already happened. It happened in the past. So this base word says pick, and I add this ed. Now it says picked. I picked the cherry tomatoes off my plant. Picked. And this one is licked. My cat licked my face. Again, ed says t. And this word says sniffed. Sniffed. The dog sniffed. Dog sniff, right? The dog sniffed to see where the chicken leg was. Sniffed. All right, so, and then finally one more thing. We will only read it once, and that will be with me, since I'm taking this time to prep you. We're introducing contractions. Contractions are when you have two words, and then you smush them together to make one word. And where the vowels or the other letters pop out, you're going to put a little apostrophe. So it's like a souvenir of where the vowel or the letters used to be. So is not turns into isn't. This is called a contraction. They mean the same thing, like my husband is not lazy. Or I could say my husband isn't lazy because he's hardworking. But is not and isn't mean the same thing. And then in this story, we also have the word didn't. That's a contraction. It used to say did not, but then you got smushed together. One of the letters popped out, and now it says didn't. But it means the same. I did not do my homework. I didn't do my homework. Okay, so now the story. And you can read it, well, yeah, you can read it with me as much as you can. All right, ready? Ralph goes to camp. That must be Ralph. And he must be with his parents. Ralph asks his mom and dad if he can go to camp. Yes, said Dad, if you do some jobs. Okay, so in his household, he has to earn his keep. If he wants something, he has to do something for it. Ralph was shocked. When you're shocked, boys and girls, it's like you have an unhappy surprise. Jobs? Ralph asked. Yes, said Dad, but it isn't that bad. It's just the dog and the trash. So maybe this is the first time that his parents ever gave him jobs to do, and so he was shocked. But it was just the dog. He has to wash the dog and take out the trash. Shep is Ralph's dog. Ralph had to give Shep a bath. Shep had fun splishing and splashing. Ralph got wet, but Ralph did his job well. So sometimes dogs don't want to take a bath, and so they get you wet, they shake off, they splash around, but he's having fun. Shep had fun. And Ralph, I think he had fun and he had fun. I can tell by his smile. When Ralph had to tug big trash bins, he didn't rush. Ralph didn't spill trash. Ralph didn't trip. Ralph did his job well. Yeah, if he goes and rushes, if he does it super fast, that might tip over, then the trash will spill out, and then, he will have done a bad job. But Ralph did his job well. Ralph goes to camp today, said Ralph's mom. Ralph got his yellow bag and hat. All right, so it looks like he's earned his, I guess, tuition for camp, and off he goes. He's a camper now, and he's happy. Ralph went to camp at last. Ralph had fun at camp, and he had no jobs. So I'll bet you camping means more to him now that he has earned his privilege of camping. And that's all I have for you. Thank you for practicing your reading with me. Bye-bye.